Hi students, now I continue with the digestion. We already know that what is digestion. So digestion is a process mechanical digestion and as well as chemical digestion. So first I start with the mechanical digestion. So mechanical digestion involves several stages. So first of all, the mastication. So mastication, nothing but the chewing of food material. So here, what is mastication? Mastication is nothing but rhythmic movements of the jaws, tongue, and lips. Rhythmic movements of jaws, tongue, and lips. Rhythmic movements means the systematic movements of the jaws, tongue, and lips. So that helps to break down the food into the smaller particles. And here the breaking down of food into smaller particles that brought about by the action of teeth. So through the movement of the lower jaw. So the lower jaw is mainly serves the movement. Okay. So here the breakdown of food into smaller particles by the action of teeth through the movement of lower jaw. And the lower jaw which moves vertically side by side as well as anterior posterior. So this is how the movement of lower jaw occurs. Okay, vertically, anterior posteriorly, and as well as side by side. In this stage, lower jaw moves. This movement which brought about the crushing of food materials into smaller particles. And when the food is crushed into smaller particles, and these smaller particles collected together to form a spherical shaped structure that is called as bolus. A spherical ball-like structure that is called as bolus. So, bolus is a semi-liquid form which is formed after the crushing of food material by the action of teeth. Okay. So, this is the first phase or first process that is mastication. Next, second stage is deglutition. So, deglutition are also known as swallowing. So, this is the process of swallowing the food into the stomach. So, the chewing takes place in the mouth, buccal cavity. So, after the food is crushed and form the bolus. So, bolus is next swallowed. That process is called deglutition. Deglutition, nothing but swallowing the food material. So, food is swallowed into the stomach. And here there are three stages in the swallowing. Okay, one is oral phase. In the oral phase, food is taken into the pharynx. Food is taken into the pharynx. So during the swallowing the food material, in the first phase, oral phase, the food is swallowed into the pharynx. So during this process, automatically, so the respiration inhibited and hyoid, a structure in the mouth which is elevated, respiration inhibited for a while, and here and then so the back part of the tongue which is elevated and retracted against the hard palate, and this moves the bolus into the pharynx, put into the pharynx. Okay, so that is the oral phase. In the oral phase, where the food is passed into the pharynx. Okay, so here respiration is inhibited, higher elevated slightly, and the back portion of the tongue elevated and as well as retracted against the palate. So this action pushes the food into the pharynx. Okay, so that is the oral phase. Second is pharyngeal phase. So here the process of passing the food into the esophagus. And this is again by what you call the so that is called by reflex action. So the presence of food in the pharynx itself which causes the reflex action, and here respiration inhibited and as well as speech is also inhibited for a while. Okay, so this pharyngeal phase, so the food is passed from pharynx to the esophagus, and that is by reflex action. So reflex action is caused by the presence of food in the pharyngeal parts itself. Okay, so next is esophageal stage. So esophageal stage where that is by the peristaltic movements. Peristaltic movements. So where the food is pushed to the esophagus. So that is when the food is pushed to the esophagus, that leads to the type of movements called peristaltic movements. Peristaltic movements. And here, so here when the food that appear in the upper part of the esophagus. So these peristaltic movements appear at the upper part of the esophagus, and here peristalsis. So peristaltic means primary esophageal peristalsis. So whatever the movements occur initially, they are called primary esophageal peristalsis. Okay, this pushes the bolus to the next part and reaches the cardiac sphincter. Cardiac sphincter. So the bolus which is pushed to the cardiac sphincter. So if the food is not completely emptied in this region, so secondary peristaltic movements pushes the food to the next part of the secondary esophageal peristalsis. Okay, so next the food is passed to the esophagus. Food is passed to the esophagus. Okay, so these are all the three stages in the deglutition. Deglutition is nothing but swallowing the food material. Takes three stages are there: oral phase, pharyngeal phase, and esophageal phase. Okay, so next third stage is gastric motility. So gastric motility is nothing but the movements of stomach. The movements which occur in the stomach called as the gastric motility. So gastric motility are movements of stomach are of two types. So one is hunger contraction. Second one is digestive peristalsis. So hunger contraction means that occur in the empty stomach, and these travel all along the length of the stomach, and the stomach is empty. So where the type of contractions occur called as hunger contraction. So that hunger contraction occur in the empty stomach. In the stomach is without food. Okay, and followed by the next one is digestive peristalsis. So digestive peristalsis occur when food is taken. When the food is taken through the mouth, when it enters the stomach, so then hunger contractions are replaced by digestive peristalsis. Okay, and these occur rhythmically. So they occur constantly and as well as rhythmically, and these occur at a rate of 3 per minute. Okay, and this digestive peristalsis pushes the food into the pylorus. Moves towards the pylorus. Okay, that is pyloric stomach. Pylorus of the pyloric stomach. So these are the two movements of the stomach called gastric motility. So hunger contraction. Second one is digestive peristalsis. Okay. Next fourth one is motility of the small intestine. Motility of the small intestine. The movements which occur in the small intestine called as motility of the small intestine. So movements of the small intestine, and they are characterized by the rhythmicity and rhythmicity of the circular muscles. Okay, and these contractions are of two types. So alternative contraction and relaxation. Alternative contraction and as well as relaxation. So that type of contraction called motility of the small intestine. So characterized by the rhythmicity of the circular muscles and alternate contraction as well as relaxation. Okay, so these are two types. Motility of the small intestine is of two types. Okay, motility of the small intestine two types. So one is segmental contraction. A section of the intestine divides into segments by rings. Okay, and these rings so called as segmental contraction. A section of the intestine divides into number of segments by rings. Okay, so called contraction, segmental contraction. And a person Ludwig in 1961 called these movements as pendulum movements. Okay, so these are the myogenic in nature and they occur at 11 per minute. 11 per minute in the duodenum and 8 to 9 per minute in the ileum. So these called segmental contraction. So in segmental contraction, a section of the small intestine divides into number of segments by rings. So called as the segmental contraction. Okay, and that helps to the food that food is smaller particles that helps to crush the food into smaller particles and helps to mix us with the intestinal secretions and as well as that changes the layer of fluid for absorption. Okay, changes the layer for the changes the layer of fluid for absorption. So you know the inner wall of the intestine is intestinal mucosa that is meant for absorption of the digested food material. So this changes the layer for fluid for absorption and also maintains the pressure. Maintains the pressure for absorption. So these are the features of the segmental contraction. Second, intestinal peristalsis. Intestinal peristalsis. So these intestinal peristalsis nothing but these are the types of movements and they travel in the abioral direction. Abioral direction means opposite to the oral, opposite to the mouth. So travel in the abioral direction and these rows superimpose the segmental contraction. So these are somewhat larger in size and superimpose means overtake the segmental contraction means somewhat the lengthier and these travel varying distance from few inches to several feet, few inches to several. Some of the waves which moves for only inches and some of the waves which travel for about in certain terms of feet. Okay, so here these intestinal peristalsis which sweep the food to the distal end of the intestine. So first the intestinal peristalsis, whatever the food which is found in the proximal part of the small intestine, that is pushed to the distal, the last part of the intestine, last part of the intestine. So that is, this is how the motility of the small intestine. So where the movements of the small intestine are two types. One is segmental contraction, another one is intestinal peristalsis. So segmental contraction, here a section of the a part of the small intestine which divides into number of segments. Okay, by rings of contraction. Okay. Okay, the small intestine internally it is provided with a number of finger-like projections called villi. So millions of structures present in the small intestine and they are made for absorption of the digestive food material. And these villi, so there are two types of movements. One is lashing movement, another one is rhythmical shortening and as well as lengthening. So these are the villi, the movements of the villi are of two types. One is lashing movements, another one is rhythmical shortening and lengthening. And these movements of the villi so accelerate the flow of blood and lymph for the absorption. So the action of villi is very much important for the fast flowing of the food as well as the flow of lymph and which are mainly meant for absorption of the digested food material. So that is alluded to the motility or movement of the small intestine. So next come to the motility of the large intestine. Motility of the large intestine. So movement of the large intestine called motility of the large intestine. And that occurs in the colon. Large intestine is also called as colon. Okay, and here this is meant for the mixing, absorption and propulsion. These movements meant for mixing, absorption and propulsion. So mixing and these are different types of movements. The first one is mixing and absorption movements. So So here the contents of the colon. So that occurs in the content when the contents present in the colon. So mixing and absorbing movements are of again three kinds. So A, that is kneading. So these movements same as that of segmenting contraction, as we see in the small intestine, segmenting contraction of the small intestine, and these movements occur at a slower rate about 2 per minute. And second B is anti-peristaltic movements when the colon is distended. When the colon is distended, when the colon is elongated, okay, and then the type of movements occur called as anti-peristaltic movements. So these occur at 5 to 7 per minute. And third C is mass peristalsis. Okay, so here generally these type of movements occur when the food is taken after the meals. After the meals, when the food is taken, so then a type of movements occur called mass peristalsis. So these are the type of what we call mixing and absorbing movements. Next, the second one is propulsive movements. Propulsive movements. So here propulsive movements are mainly meant for the propulsion, pushing of contents of the colon into anus, towards the anus. Propulsive movements which mainly meant for pushing the contents of the colon towards the anus. So they are called propulsive movements, meant for propulsion of the food or digested food to the anus. So these propulsive movements are of two types again. One is colonic peristalsis. So colonic peristalsis is similar to that of intestinal peristalsis, and here they are continuous contraction and as well as relaxation. These movements generally in the form of contraction and as well as relaxation, and with the act of defecation, and mainly associated with the act of defecation. So called colonic peristalsis. Second B is mass movements. So mass movements again similar to contraction, simultaneous contraction. These are simultaneous contractions, and of the large segments of the particularly occur in the large segments of the colon, particularly occur after the meals. So empty the brachial contraction and even the proximal contraction as well as distal contraction. So empty the proximal part of the intestine to the distal proximal colon to the distal colon. So here the contents are present in the proximal colon. So first part of the colon that is pushed to the distal colon. So that is carried by the mass movements. Okay, they are simultaneous contractions of the large segments. So this is all about the propulsive movements. Okay, that's all about the motility of the large intestine. These are all the types of movements occur in the large intestine called motility of the large intestine. So next last one is defecation. So defecation is nothing but expulsion, removal of fecus. Expulsion or removal of fecus. So here the mass movements drive the